Hi, I'm Julia. I'm an academic at Curtin Business School.
Hi, and I'm Jane. I'm also an academic at Curtin Business School. Welcome to Curtin.
So today we're going to talk to you about your sustainable career and your future career journey. So looking ahead, it doesn't matter if you're a school leaver, if you're a mom, a dad, brother, sister, girlfriend, boyfriend. What's on your mind when you think about your future career journey? In the research that Jane and I have done looking at careers and how they've evolved over the years, many people talk about different concerns, like for example, job security. Are you going to have a career that you enjoy? Are you going to have opportunities for professional development?
And also, if you're not sure about what that future career looks like or your course of study, that's okay too, because sometimes we're not sure. And part of the career journey is to try and work out for ourselves what we want. And there may be parents out there as well who are on to their second journey and not sure what that looks like. And that's also okay. So, future of work. What does it look like? Well, the research that Julia and I have been doing shows that it looks actually quite different to maybe the work that your parents were involved with or even your grandparents and possibly your teachers. So we know that you're going to have a basket of work. We call it basket of work, but you're going to have multiple jobs that you will hold, and you might have one job that is part-time, another that might be a contract job, or another one that might be self-employed. You've bid online for particular project work. That's okay, because it can actually be quite fun to have one job that you think, okay, that's just going to pay the wages, that's financially sustaining, but this other work that I'm doing, this casual job or the one where I'm self-employed, is where I'm having my fun. So that's okay, but we know you're going to have a basket of work, and the big challenge going forward is having a sustainable career. So we know that artificial intelligence is going to have an impact, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We know that underemployment is also going to be an issue going forward, but generally that's the people at risk there. The vulnerable workers are those that are unskilled. So we know that with the future of work, you need to stay on a journey of lifelong learning and keeping your skills up. And we know that work is going to be more collaborative, you're going to be working in groups, and that's why as part of your studies at Curtin, you'll find that you'll be doing a lot of group assignments, and that's about building those employability skills for the future of work. Well, future of work, what does it look like? Well, Julia and I both know that from the research we've been doing that the future, there's a lot of reports and a lot of big research is showing that there are the same features that are coming through. One is that you're going to be sustaining a career, not just a job. It's going to be a lifelong career journey where you've actually got multiple work going on at the same time. And I call it like your basket of eggs, your basket of jobs that you put together to make up your career. And it might be one job is casual, it might be the other piece of your career puzzle is where you're self-employed, or might be part-time work. And that's okay. Yes, there's a bit of juggling and you need to develop some skills for that, but it's also that you might find that the part-time work is where you sustain yourself financially, but it's not that much fun. But it could be that casual job is where you're actually really starting to enjoy yourself. So you're developing a whole range of skills with that little basket of jobs that you have going at any one time. We also know that underemployment is a real risk with the future of work, and artificial intelligence has an impact on that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we know that the vulnerable workers are those that are basically in unskilled work or in base clerical and administrative work. But we know that going forward, a lot of your work is going to be collaborative, where you work with other people, and you'll find that in your studies that you'll actually have assessments where you'll actually have to work with other people. And that's part of developing those group work collaboration skills. Okay, when we talk about the future of work, there's a whole basket of skills that go with that as well. So this can be a little bit overwhelming. And again, the research is showing the same things going through. So we know that with those foundation skills, there's an assumption that if you've been to school and if you're studying, you'll have the basic literacy and numeracy and reading skills. Employers will actually make an assumption that you have the technical skills for a job, that you'll have the base knowledge from your discipline because you have a degree in that area. The extra that they're looking for, we call employability skills. So it's around creativity, innovation, it's around your ability to collaborate with others, it's about emotional intelligence. Okay, so again, the sorts of things that computers and robots can't do. And there's also a real push for you to show that you're confident and you actually have those career management skills, that you're self-assured, you're self-aware, you'll know where your journey is going. You know where your skill gaps are and you're starting to work on those, and you are exploring and acknowledge the need for lifelong learning. So the skills for the future of work, we will be embedding in most of the courses you'll be doing at the university. So the skills that you need for the future of work, and what happens when I move from one job to another. What happens when I've been in the job for about a year and guess what, I don't like it too much. That's not a waste of your time. This is where we talk about transferable skills. So we know, again from the research, that in any one job, you're actually developing about 13 skills that you can transfer to your next line of work. So don't ever think that any work you've been doing is a waste of time. And that's why we talk about lifelong learning being so important, because that's also part of what you develop in the job. You're learning about new skills, you're getting new expertise. And that's the wonderful thing about any work you do. It's never a dead loss.
Okay, so we talked a little bit at the beginning about your career journey and your thoughts about your career journey. So let's just imagine for a moment, what do you think your career journey is going to look like? So here you can see that we've got a picture of a ladder, and that's a very traditional view about what a career looks like. But it's also somewhat limiting, because actually many career journeys look nothing like a ladder at all. In fact, they're way more twisty and turny with lots of ups and downs, actually more like a snake than a ladder. And certainly when I think about my own career, it certainly resembled more of a snake than a ladder. So I think when you're starting out on your career journey, as Jane talked about, we need to start looking about what skills have we got that are transferable, and how can we use those skill sets to take us to the next part of our journey. There may be some ups, there may be some downs, there may be some new opportunities. And the real question is, are you willing to take those opportunities, take a chance to develop your career further? So we've talked about transferable career skills, and one of the career skills that is very transferable, that's actually essential for today's careers, is what we would call career agility. So what is agility? Agility is the ability to move and change direction and position of the body quickly and effectively, and this is really important, while keeping under control. So it's about the extent to which you can change, move your career direction quickly, as and when necessary, but you need to be in charge the whole time. You don't want your career to take charge of you. You don't want to cede control of your career to others. Rather, you need to be taking control of your own career.
Employability skills. Well, probably one of the most important employability skills is adaptability. And we know that with the world changing so quickly and sometimes in a way that we can't even envisage, that we need to be adaptable. So we need to be able to adapt to our careers, we need to adapt to a changing career. It may be a particular industry is starting to shrink and a new one growing. So again, part of that lifelong learning, and I use the term adapt or die, and that's a metaphoric term, is that to remain employable and in meaningful work and to sustain that career, you have to adapt. And part of that is having that portfolio of skills. So with the future of work, we know that there's a lot of doom and gloom around the mention of artificial intelligence and technology and robots. And one thing I tend to say to students is certainly do what robots can't do. And it's really quite simple to think of it that way. So what is it that robots can do very well? They can do repetitive work. The language processing and the programming is all around repetition and around patterns. So you think moving forward, that means that you are pretty safe in your work with work that requires creativity and innovation, working in diverse, complex environments that requires complex relationships, decision making, dealing with people. People are not predictable, so work that requires high levels of emotional intelligence and high levels of interpersonal skills. So the other thing is that there will be work that robots will do, and often that's the work of the vulnerable groups, the unskilled, but they can also do clerical administrative work that can actually support the work you're doing and enhance your ability to work in more interesting areas.
So far, we've talked about the future of work. We've talked about transferable skills. We've talked about the need for career agility. We've talked about the need for adaptability. And I think a common theme throughout this is the need for those strong interpersonal skills, doing things that robots simply can't do. We know that robots and artificial intelligence, they may well take over some careers, they may well take over some jobs, but we also know that they provide us with opportunities for new careers, new avenues of employability. And I think really amidst all this, there's one key theme that's really super important, and that is taking responsibility and taking ownership of your own career.
Okay, so here at Curtin, you have real flexibility in how you design your degree. So we have opportunities for you to have like a bit of a pick and mix approach to putting majors together, for example. So the flexibility and the innovation is also there with some of the units that are offered. And one of the units we have is actually about strategic career design. So it's about looking at the future of work, about what happens in the global labour markets and what happens with your graduate careers. We use a whole range of really lovely tools in that unit. We use a career passport, which we will explore further, but also we talk about the actual specific skills that you need, how to plan a future career, the what if that career that you had planned suddenly disappears? What's your contingency? So we actually make you develop those contingencies. What sort of work do you enjoy? So we explore that, and we also look at your propensity for maybe overwork and issues of work balance. We also talk about the not so nice stuff about losing your job, but we talk about how that can actually create opportunities for you. Here at Curtin University, we talk about some of the core skills that are required for you going forward, our employability skills, and we talk about creativity and innovation. So rather than just talk about it, we want to actually live by what we say. And one of the ways we've done that is with innovative course design, innovative assessment. And one of the assessments that we've designed in the School of Management is around a career passport. And what it is rather than a physical passport with stamps, it's actually a virtual online passport with badges. So we have this embedded in our Common Core unit, but it's actually available for any students to participate in, undergraduate and postgraduate. And what it does is it enables you to explore on a co-curricular basis, which means that you can actually engage in these activities and programs and courses and modules while you're still studying. Why do we ask you to do that? Because we know that if you actually explore those and participate in them, it actually builds your employability upon graduation. Unfortunately, having a degree on its own is not enough anymore. You have to actually build those skills to ensure, to some extent, that you are improving your graduate employment outcomes. So the way we do that is we have a whole range of programs and courses and skills that you develop as part of that career passport. And we have what we call badges that you can explore as you're going through. So with the first year unit, it's actually for assessment, and we also have it going to a whole suite of our second and third year units within Curtin Business School. It's also open to students across the university. So we want to actually encourage every student that we can to actually participate in that badge acquisition.
So we've talked a lot about lifelong learning, and here's a quote from one of our partners at Stanford University. "You never finish designing your life. Life is a joyous and never-ending design project of building your way forward." So what you've got there very clearly is that future orientation. You've got you're in charge, you're designing your own life. And actually it should be and can be a lot of fun. It's joyous and it's never-ending. So we've talked a lot about career agility, we've talked about career adaptability, we've talked about our wonderful career passport and all the many skills and competencies you can learn here at Curtin. So the real question is, are you ready? Because as you can see, at Curtin, we take your career very seriously, and so should you.
So welcome to Curtin.
Welcome to Curtin.